Hello and welcome back with me, Admiral, joining me back on Star Trek Fleet Command as always. Thank you to all the new subscribers and thank you to everyone that has supported me to get over the milestone of 1,000. Just again, want to sort of thank everyone once again for that. So today's episode is going to be about faction credits, how to get them, where to get them, the best ways to obtain them, and hopefully this will help you new people out there. Hopefully it'll help some people that maybe didn't realize you could get them in certain places, and pretty much across the board should allow you to, or maybe hope you realize where you can obtain credits for the best possible outcomes. So the first one that we're going to discuss is going to be the obvious place. It's going to be the place that most people are already aware you can get them, and that's going to be the daily goals. So on the daily goals, as you go down, obviously you can grind the 3 different factions, the 3 different main factions. So that is Klingon, Federation, or Romulan. And the way to do it is there's 2 options within the daily goals. The first option is to go and hit hostiles of some form of level. As you can see here, if you were going for the Federation, for example, I have to hit 10 hostiles at level 38. The better option, and the way that everyone should do it, is always go for whatever the second one is, because you've got to hit 25 of them, and it's always a higher level. So therefore, whilst you're doing this one, you're also going to complete this one as well. Whereas if you only do this one, you're not going to complete that one at the same time. So you may as well just hit the higher one and go for 25 hostiles. And if you click on here, you'll see that you get 75 credits for the Federation. And on this top one here, you get 40 credits. So in total, you're looking at 115 credits for this combination. And then if you scroll down, the same again goes for the mining. And once again, you get exactly the same amount for the mining as well. You get 115 credits. So 25,000 gets you 75. And the 5,000 gets you 40. So 115 on both of them. Obviously, if you add them together, it adds up to 230 faction credits altogether. And that is the same for all 3 factions within the daily grinding sort of tree, as they say. Obviously, you're going to want to focus on a specific one, but if you want to get multiple factions, make sure that you complete the multiple events. The good thing about it, certainly when it comes to the hostile side of stuff, is if you're going for, say, Federation and Klingon, you can hit Romulan ships and it will complete for both. So just bear that in mind. And then that is pretty much it for the daily faction grind, so to say. The second place that I'm going to talk about, which is probably the most important place in my opinion, because you get the most amount for what it is that you need. Ideally, you need to have a maxed out Vidar. You want to get a maxed out Tier 9 Vidar, and this is arguably the best place for getting faction credits. Also, hopefully they release it in the future, but you might be able to pick up the research to get double drop rates for it as well, which will obviously be beneficial for you. And as you can see, I am currently trying to grind Federation credits to unlock my Enterprise. But the best way to get them, in my opinion, is this, because one chest is 8,000. This is obviously for a Tier 9 Vidar. Every tier is different, but you get 8,000 cubes cost for the price of 8,000 cubes. You get 600 credits if you have the double refine output. If not, obviously it's only 300, but still pretty damn good. Considering, you know, as you were looking at the dailies, you only get 230. So to get 300 and you can get this once a day as well is incredibly good deal. So look out for that. Look out for the Vidar. At the moment, or the last event we just had, you could unlock the Vidar with blue. Well, you could get Vidar blueprints. I definitely recommend everyone to get the Vidar. Definitely grind it out. It's an incredibly powerful ship for any new player in the game. It's probably a ship that you should be looking at if you're in the 20s or low 20 range, going up to the level, obviously 30, 32 range. To be honest, you probably can skip your 26 6 ships and your level 28 ships if you have a Vidar, because like I say, it's probably just as powerful initially. Obviously, the level 28 ships will surpass the Vidar eventually once they're at higher tier levels. However, you're going to want to get the Vidar to tier 9 anyway, so you may as well start early, and then you can unlock these faction credits within the store, which again, probably the most important place I personally would say to get faction credits. The other way to get the credits themselves is obviously through special events. You can obviously do certain events that get the credits if they're available. And the other way is to do this reputation event if you can obviously get the credits or the materials, spending resources of some form. If you can do this, I would definitely recommend doing it, because when you get to the top end, you're going to get 50 from that one and you're going to get 150 from this one. So you're going to get 200 altogether towards whichever faction. Not only do you get that, you obviously get the XP and stuff as well. So to offset, if you're grinding towards a specific faction, what I would recommend to do is to offset the amount you will lose if you want to get all 3 faction credits, for example, or all 200 for all 3 factions. To offset this, what you want to do is just basically join every single one of them. And then by joining all 3, when they obviously finish, they will offset each other so that you gain 0 XP for that faction, but you will still gain the 200 credits for that faction nonetheless. And then outside of this, they're probably the 3 main places I would definitely say get your faction credits. They're the 3 easiest places, and I would definitely recommend doing them. Another thing with that event, you can donate to your alliance, or whatever they call it, alliance. You can donate, and that also counts towards it. So if you wanted to, and you're in a pretty decent or whatever type of alliance, you can just donate a little bit, 60 million or so, probably about 40 million or so, and you should be fine to get it past, sort of thing. So again, you can also do something on the lines of that. Another place that you can find faction credits that is a little bit, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not, depends on the drop rate of the faction credits themselves within it, is the missions. Okay, so the missions offer a lot of credits depending on how high up you are within the mission tree. They do offer a lot of credits. However, some of the missions are obviously extremely difficult to do depending on what type of level of ship you have and how strong your ship is compared to maybe obviously whatever you're doing, or alternatively it could be hindered towards your warp range itself. But as you can see here, for this mission alone, once you finish it, you get 600 credits, which is pretty damn good. And then obviously all 3 factions have similar things. So this one's 500 for another 500 for the Federation. This one's 500 for Romulan. I'm not entirely sure how many Klingon missions I have. Absolutely none. So Federation, and then you just got to go through, and another 600 there, another 500. Like I say, these are sort of high-end missions though, so these ones are a little bit more difficult to do, so just bear that in mind if you are obviously thinking of doing the mission ones. And as you start off in the game, the missions obviously are a lot easier to do, therefore they don't offer anywhere near the amount of credits or faction credits that you need. Another place you can get them, I wouldn't recommend looking here though too often, but you can get them in the away teams as a chance. If you can get this high enough, you can get them here as well. So just bear that in mind. But they don't pop up that often, if I'm honest. And you do need the research obviously for it as well. They are common, but I personally wouldn't go off this getting your faction credits from here. It's not an incredibly efficient way of doing it. And then obviously you can get faction credits one more way that I can think of off the top of my head, and that is to get your messages. So the way to get messages in this game is by going around and finding scouts for a specific faction. So obviously if you wanted Federation messages, you need to go and hit Klingon Scout, which will get you this Klingon messages. You need, depending again what tier you are, this is the most efficient one. Well, it goes up per experience, I guess, or faction reputation goes up. The most efficient one, I believe, is when you're at it's either concert or the one below it, because you don't need that many. However, you don't get anywhere near the amount of faction credits at the same time. Whereas when you get to this level that I am at the moment, which is respected, which is the 10 million lockout for obviously any of the factions, you need 180 messages. You can get 350 credits altogether, and which is really good. To be fair, it is good, but getting them messages is not. You have to hit quite a lot of ships just to get the messages. Just so I thought I'd point that out as well. But this is another good option to be able to get faction credits pretty easily as well. And again, the same goes for the other two factions. It's exactly the same amount, so just bear that in mind as well. And a quick pointer, as you can see, I'm only 2 shards away now from getting the Enterprise, so look forward to seeing a video on the Enterprise, hopefully within the next week. Like I say, I should be able to unlock it within the next week. I'm at 1,000 credits already. I only need another, I think it's 1,400, and I have this unlocked. So look forward to seeing that next week. A little spoiler there. But yeah, if you can think of any other options, I think I've covered pretty much all of them. Obviously, you can get them from the event store as well if they pop up and as and when they pop up. But if you can think of any other ways other than buying them, because I'm not talking about specifically buying them, but if you can think of any other free-to-play ways that you can get faction credits that I've missed out, please point them down in the comments down below and let me know and let the community know as a whole, so that everyone can enjoy the faction credits and hopefully get the ships that you are grinding towards, or the reputation, or the officer packs, or anything like that you need from the faction stores. Then help your friends out down below, help the community out, and let me know if I've missed anything down below. Other than that, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like the content if you enjoyed it. If not, then please let me know why, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.